Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another Spiritualistic Pick a Card reading. Today we are going to see which collective has a message for you. So please take a deep breath to draw the energy up your spine and create a clear and open channel. As you exhale, come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with the yellow light code, group number 2 in the center with the white light code, and group number 3 on the right with the blue light code. As always, my loves, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box. If you'd like to meditate with me, that is the first link in the description box. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, join the family, join the community. If you like and you drop a comment, it helps me know how this reading resonated with you and lets me know what you realized. It's always beautiful when I get to see the intuitive downloads that you receive while you're following along with the reading. And of course, if you boost it in the algorithm a little bit, it not only helps me follow my dreams, but it also helps other people find the messages that they're looking for when they're ready. As always, I love you and I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you over at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at which collective has a message for you. And you selected the first group with the yellow light code. The first thing that I'm getting here today is that this is a collective that your soul has a deep resonance with in maybe frequency. For some of you, this collective is a spirit guide of yours, but for a lot of you, you have actually had some sort of past, present, future, parallel lifetime experience with this collective in your personal soul's individual journey. This collective that is coming through here for you, this light code, this is Lyra. So what I'm getting here is this energetic sensitivity and this creativity that's coming through as well. It's really harnessing the feline energy, which is not the only collective of Lyra, of course, but that energy is coming through very strongly. I'm being shown auras and orbs and energies like this that is very much seeing beyond the veil, very strong clairvoyant energy that's coming through here. So the collective Lyra does have a message for you today about allowing yourself to open your third eye again. There's something here where you wish to grow spiritually and you wish to harness your gifts. In fact, this is a message that you might have been receiving quite a bit recently. However, spiritual gifts, specifically clair abilities, sometimes things like spiritual sight, auditory energies, these might be helpful towards getting you to where you want to go, but they show you what you need to see, or sometimes what you want to see. But when you are spiritually advanced, they show you what you need to see in order to get to where you're going. There is always a truth that can be unfolded beyond whatever it is that you spiritually see. Now, while divine visions are definitely a thing, so are divine hallucinations as well. And you will see things that are, well, resonant with your journey and are based upon what is in your subconscious, what aligns with your spiritual journey, and also what your human mind and emotions can fathom and hold. So these energies are not bad. In fact, they're very helpful. And as you know, they're quite popular in your current time and space in the human collective. Specifically, clairvoyance, clairaudience, different clair abilities like this. You are also aware, however, that these spiritual abilities do not necessarily define full spiritual truth, because in consciousness, full spiritual truth cannot be seen or heard because it is a frequency. It can be felt, but not as an emotion. It can't be taken on in the energy field. With this, you've devoted yourself to observation, to growth, to consciousness. However, you are also at a place where you're being encouraged to allow yourself to open these gifts up again. Not that you intentionally closed them. Your spiritual insights, your spiritual gifts, your third eye, they are not closed. They are wide open. However, you perceive likely pure light. You perceive likely pure space, pure frequency, pure consciousness. You are being encouraged from Lyra as a guide of yours, as a friend of yours, to allow these to manifest, to take shape for you. This is a part of allowing co-creation to navigate through you as well. Now, your connection with the universe, your connection to source, your connection to consciousness is beautiful and very important to your growth, and it is your main priority at this point in your spiritual journey, as it should continue to be. However, universe can manifest things through you, through spiritual sight, through spiritual sound, through spiritual smell, through spiritual knowing. And so these facts and figures, these shapes and sounds, you're being encouraged to allow them to remanifest through you and once more give them the time of day. Not because you are at the ground looking up at these visions, but rather because you are in consciousness looking down, seeing what the universe decides to manifest through you, rather than what is a creation of your own ego, thought, subconscious, and maybe higher self. This is a different energy. The point in the center remains the same. However, rather than looking at it from the ground up, you're looking at it from the sky down. And this is why you're being encouraged by Lyra, if this is an energy and collective you choose to take advice from at this point in time, to open these things up and explore them more. Because it's not about you looking at different timelines, flipping through different timelines, getting the hot goss on people, places, situations around you, or even the human collective. It's more than this. This is about understanding the way that your consciousness chooses to manifest, and you will find that it is a higher frequency than that which you have previously experienced with your spiritual gifts. For many of you, this may inspire song or dance or art or creation, and you're being encouraged to flow with it and allow it to ground through you. You are aware that the energy comes up the spine, up the back of the head. The third eye is a projector. But what is it projecting? Normally, it is a projection of the clutter and chaos within one's mind and subconscious that one needs to learn in order to go down a rabbit hole of exploring, in order to figure out what it is that they truly are or are learning and figuring out for themselves. For you, it is a manifestation of pure consciousness. And as you allow yourself to observe the pure, unadulterated, refined energy that comes through pure channeling, you will understand that what you see is in alignment with truth and is, I'm hearing, a new creation. It is not the sum of all parts. It is a new creation. I'm getting here a new color, a new musical note, a new system, a new something. So that might resonate with you as well. Of course, does not need to, but that was certainly confirmation someone needed here. There's a reason why you are passionate about or in love or even navigating some of these energies that you have been connected with. Now, this is from your perspective, looking up at this as there's something to learn and grow into and evolve. This, however, is letting you know the frequency that your feet are at. Rather than being from the ground looking up, this feels as though it's floating around in the heart space looking up. You might be interested to know that all frequencies are not created equal. While it is true that there is a resonant frequency for the color red, and perhaps for the root chakra, all root chakras are not aligned at the frequency of the color red. Now, this is not to say that that is right or wrong, but it is worth observing. It is not to create, it is not to hypothesize, it is not to figure out, it is not to divine over. Allow that pure consciousness to radiate through you, and allow that to be something that creates on its own accord, on its own time, what it chooses to show you, and that will be your guide. Worry less about looking up, and show what is bestowed to you. You can feel the difference. Group 1, you understand this difference. You're also able to identify it when it's present and when it is not. You're also aware that it is a tiny, tiny piece of the human collective that even is aware of this, let alone has access to this. Love all. All are fated to remember who and what they are at some point. And the journey that each one takes to get there is always valid. Every spiritual experience is entirely valid. That does not make it based in full truth. With that being said, continue to love, continue to create, and I'm also hearing, do not make the same mistakes that we made. Not that you would, but you might want to brush up on some of our history a little bit. Oftentimes, those who are exalted in the public eye have not always used the best methods in order to attain that. History almost always lies, and that is why it repeats itself. So, group number 1, that is your channeled message from Lyra. This is the collective that has a message for you today, and I hope this helps shed some love, light, clarity, and maybe curiosity for you here today. If you're interested in a personal with me, we can dive deeper into this reading. I do offer personalized channeling sessions, as well as tarot, astrology, Reiki, and a few other things as well. Personalized light codes is one of them too. I do have my light codes oracle deck, as well as other tarot and oracle decks. All of those things I mentioned are on my spiritual store on Etsy at Spiritualistik, linked in the description box below. If you'd like to meditate with me, it's the first link in the description box below. If you'd like to join my book club, it's donation-based, so you show up if you want to. We're reading The Power of Now, and that's on my Patreon, so you can find that over there. We've got my book club, my meditation collection. I post exclusive content there every Thursday. I do it over here on Wednesdays as well. They're all different content. And of course, follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you'd like to follow along with everything else I'm doing. I have recently started another YouTube channel as well. You can find that in the description box somewhere. And I love you. I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Of course, please subscribe to my channel. Give it a like. Drop a comment. It means the world to me. Gives me a great big hug. And I'll see you at your next reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste. And welcome to your reading. Today we are seeing which collective has a message for you. And you selected the second group with the white light code. Group 2. The first energy that I'm picking up on here is primordial energy. And I'm getting that you have some spiritual awareness. I would say gifts, but it feels a bit outside of the spiritual gifts realm because it's a primordial energy. So you could call this spiritual information or technology. You could call them gifts, but I'm getting this energy of creation, construction, and also of awareness. I'm hearing like codes, technologies, things like this that is coming through. The collective that has a message for you here today is the Anunnaki, interestingly enough. Group number 2. You are aware that you have access to creative technologies that are primordial in nature and also can allow you to shift more than your physical human reality. You have been awakened to the story of the Anunnaki from their own perspective, rather than from the hearsay that has been speculated and passed around your planet like a game of telephone. These energies would like for you to connect with the primal earthly energies of the elements and beyond. They would like you to explore the idea of other elements that are not just what you experience in physical earth. You could, if you choose to expand your bandwidth here, look at time as an element. You could look at frequency as an element. You could look at experience as an element. You could look at transparency as an element, if you so choose. This is, of course, outside of your common understanding of what an element is, and that is part of the message that is here for you today. The Anunnaki are masters of a specific type of understanding of energy work from beyond your perspective of what energy is. The reason for this is, again, due to the primordial nature of this collective, and less so about a way that we describe frequency, vibration, and energy on our planet. While it is true that these connections with source and creative energies are imminent, there are different dimensions and levels of it as well, which is why they ask for you to expand your idea of elements, because this will refine your idea of energy. You are progressing very quickly, spiritually and in your physical life. Although it might not always feel like this, you're aware that things are changing for you for the better very quickly, very drastically. But as this occurs, you're going to find that there are less and less opportunities for you to play around or take detours in life, and more opportunity for you to, study, take your alchemical practice more seriously, because it is less about turning, I'm hearing turning aloe into gold, and more about observing primordial energy and creating something from nothing. More than a thought. A thought is already something. Creating from nothing. Not creating from a thought, not creating from an emotion, not creating from a frequency. Creating from nothing. There is a dimension, there is a realm that is between causal energy and intention. Because for there to be an intention, this must be created. And the causal is the realm that is non-manifest. Between the two, there is a veil. Similar, but different from what you describe experiencing on your earthly realm. The veil between the two might look like it separates worlds or dimensions, realities, or timelines. However, you can step into it, and it, in and of itself, is a multidimensional fold that holds worlds, experiences, planets between it. The world of between the causal and the intention is a primordial energy. The things that are taught to you that are not sentient, most of them are. And a lot of the things that you are taught are sentient are not. The Anunnaki would like for you to become aware of the fact that all things that you see in your world are almost always the opposite of what is truly occurring. Never lose track of your source of consciousness or creation. Regardless of which perspective you use to find it, does not matter as much in your human body, but the connection to it is imminent. Do not lose it. Continue to strengthen it. Do not worry about the path there and cleaning it up. Focus on anchoring your consciousness where that truly lies. You have experienced memories of being around these energies, being around this primordial energy and the Anunnaki in some way, shape, or form. And as you continue to awaken these, you continue to awaken the causal, astral, and crystalline energies that are within you. There's a template within that is being activated for you. And as it becomes activated, you find that these spiritual gifts that awaken within you, again, are less likely to be understood as gifts or frequencies, and more likely to be understood under the term of experiences, because it is a state of nature. These are not gifts as something that you open and you receive. It is what you truly are. There are levels of consciousness beyond what your collective of humanity has ever experienced before, that the Anunnaki have connection to in their pathways between their primordial energy and their perception of what creation is. Your idea of source and their idea of source are not too different from one another, but the perspective that they hold out of witness and the perspective that you hold out of understanding may differ a bit. If you choose to protect, shield, filter, so be it. However, they do invite you to explore their perspective of what it truly means to connect with Source. It might look differently than what you have learned it to be. It might feel differently than what you expect feeling is, and it might shatter your perspective of the fragmented reality that you currently experience. They wish to show you what it is like for the cosmos to be your breath, not your creator. They would like to show you how anthropomorphized humanity likes to depict certain frequencies as. They would like to remind you of the technology that flows through your DNA that has been deliberately forgotten and not unrecovered by humanity. And they would also like to remind you that the reason that karma is real is not because of a spiritual belief, but because that is the way things were created to be. You will see once more what you have seen before. Except this time, it will not be upon new eyes. You will see more, you will see deeper, you will understand more, like watching a movie for the second time. The second time, you have more context. You pick up more things. You truly understand. The first time, you're taken along for a ride. They would like to invite you into their world of understanding, if you so choose to experience that state of consciousness and being. They work best with you at night, because it is the closest to their natural environment. But their perspective of a natural environment is so much different from the way that you would fathom it to be, that whether or not there is the presence of light is more of a metaphor or figment of speech than connected to primordial truth. Connect with the darker crystalline, the colors of cosmos, the space outside colors, yet for some reason you are able to fathom them there. The way that humanity anthropomorphizes things that have nothing to do with them is a gift and a skill almost unique to humanity. But if you would like to be shown who colors are and where they come from, beyond your perception of light being refracted, where they come from, not how you access them, they invite you to come for a visit. Group number 2, that is your channeled message from the Anunnaki Collective. This is the collective that has a message for you today. I hope this helps shed some love, light, and clarity for you. Maybe some curiosity as well. I hope you have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. If you're interested in a personal session, I do offer personalized channeling sessions, as well as tarot. I do all kinds of astrology, astrocartography, synastry readings, as well as Reiki energy work sessions as well. You can find those on my spiritual store on Etsy. All my info's in the description box. If you'd like to meditate with me, that's the first link in the description box. Meditation retreat, virtual, yours forever. I've got personals. My spiritual store, I have tarot and oracle decks, more light codes, journals, crystals, candles, so on and so forth. I post on YouTube members a lot of channeling like this, Patreon a little more grounded pick a card readings, and you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for being here. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we are seeing which collective has a message for you today, and you selected the third group with the blue light code. The first message that's coming through here is I'm hearing chaos into order. There is an alignment that is occurring in your collective right now that they are drawing awareness to. I'm also hearing organized chaos. This collective wants to remind you that all things are happening according to plan, and also that humanity is not the only one that is out for bat for the outcome of planet Earth, its wellness, humanity's survival, and the integrity and inhabitants of your planet. The collective that has a message for you today is Orion, the Orion system. There are many ways to transmute or bring chaos into order. One, the more traditional definition of transmutation, using light and love, such as the Pleiades system. There are others using creativity and emotion, such as Mintaka. Now, in the Orion system, which does include, but is not limited to, these two other collectives, this is the Orion system, they are utilizing more facts, figures, and shapes. You are going to be drawn to organizing your life in small ways along sacred geometry, if you aren't already, or you're going to be noticing it a lot more in nature. Your eyes are open to the way that geometry has been used systemically on your planet for the forces of good and the forces of evil. However, while Orion does exist in a largely similar system to Earth when it comes to duality, it is not quite the same. These things do not parallel quite the same. Therefore, they experience something different than the light-dark duality. They don't see good versus evil, but they see how it manifests on your planet. As a lot of you are aware, it is the third piece that is missing. It is just as present as the other two, but less acknowledged. Bringing these things into a trine with one another will allow the energy to be neutralized and become equal. Change and order occurs on planet Earth over a long period of time, to your perspective. For you, it will take eons, generations, centuries, decades. However, you seek change in days, weeks, months, and years. Your concept of time is not fully accurate. Although it does follow the sun and your moon, there is again a third aspect that is not considered. We encourage you to seek and find the third point in your dualistic system, everywhere that you seem to look. You figured it out with your eyes. You figured it out with your technology. Now figure it out with your experience of time, space, good and bad, light and dark. Orion would like for you to understand that as things begin to shift, you will find things falling into alignment and more clarity on a collective scale more and more easily over time. And they also would like to let you know that they are here as a guide. They are not fully hands-off. They are quite helpful when it comes to the advancement of humanity, when it comes to technologies that are used towards neutral energy. They help the brightest minds, sharpen the sharpest knives. They help to square things away as needed. You are noticing a blueprint reawakening for planet Earth, and you seek the date and time or general energy space that equates to this, so that you can understand where history might repeat itself. However, intentionally, it has been deleted from your planet's library. Although you may access it astrally and spiritually speaking, the physical records of such have been drowned, burned, and erased. As you might not be surprised to find out, the most popular ancient civilizations and technologies, lost energies, forgotten cities, the most popular in your day and age, were the least impactful. And the most impactful were the least remembered. A small shift in one direction can create a large change over a grand period of time. This is the pattern that we share with you today. Not just looking at the past, but looking at the present moment. Small shifts create a long-term pattern. A small ripple has an effect. If you're interested in the butterfly effect, take a look at the graph. Understand the geometry behind it, but look at it from a different dimension or from a different density. Remember the truth behind the different densities and how they do not align with the different dimensions. Things are compartmentalized based upon your experience of time, space, experience, and understanding. Consciousness is the only thing that can see outside of all of these things. You have access to several different systems with which to align with this energy and see outside of your current experience. Aligning these systems together will do more harm than good. By means of confusion, lack of clarity, and disorganization. However, finding one that is concise, one that you know to be true, specifically one that you know like the back of your hand, will assist you in understanding why certain chess pieces are put where they are. Because it was with the bigger picture in mind. Sometimes to win a game of chess, you must sacrifice a pawn. This does not make the pawn the least important piece. If anything, it makes it one of the most important. If the movement of one pawn takes on your life span, on average 2 or 3 generations, it will be difficult to understand the larger game at play. So utilize your system. Look outside what it is that you see. Find the bigger picture. Utilize geometry as your newest technology and understand which small changes can be implemented to have a greatest impact. Changing things truly in its structure takes a lot longer than creating a large amount of change in a short period of time that is less likely to be permanent. Your spiritualists and philosophers understand this as the difference between Jupiter and Saturn. And we are here to remind you that there are a lot more energies that mirror you than you think, than you remember, than the sages that pass down the wisdom to the general public were inclined to share. And as that information gets passed down, it gets more and more filtered, not less filtered. The truth behind the 13 is the fact that something is hidden, therefore, the real truth is the 12. Do not forget that when things are complete, they are complete. If one carries over, there must begin a new cycle. A gift that you have and an interest that you have, by putting them together, can create a foundational shift. By sharing it with 1, 5, or 10 people, you will find that each of those 10 people have an energetic shift with the 1, 5, or 10 people they interact with, which will shift again 1, 5, or 10 people they interact with. We utilize these numbers willingly, but not definitely. Understand that if it seems as though much is still hidden, it is because the cycle is not complete. If it feels that things are coming to light that were once hidden, remember, the least popular are the most impactful, and the most popular are the least impactful. When it comes to history, civilizations, ancient knowledge, and, as you're familiar, truth. Group number 3, that is the collective that has a message for you today. That's your message from Orion. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. I hope you have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. If you'd like to be personal with me, I do offer channeling sessions like this on my spiritual store on Etsy at Spiritualistik. I also offer tarot, astrology, astrocartography, and Reiki sessions. If you'd like to meditate with me, it's the first link in the description box below. I post a channeled message every Wednesday on my YouTube members channel. I post a pick a card reading every Thursday on my Patreon. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram, all at Spiritualistik. As always, I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Namaste.